Talia, I give you life.
Thank you, Macabre.
Thank you.
Friend!
That was your one for like the next year. Just kidding. But yeah,
that was
so-
the worst I've ever rolled.
Corn, what are you doing? That's a whole ass fireball.
What are you doing? Are you trying to kill my dog?
Are you trying to kill my mom?
Tony just like told Hadrada like, hey, take care of that dog for me. I'll look past some of the other worse shit you've done. You know, make it quick. Doesn't have to suffer. But yeah, so
I'll kill you.
the party is now the proud owners of a brand new Blink Dog companion.
Name's Fast.
Nice.
And he is the best good boy. He's currently sitting as close as he can to all of you, pretty much, and just breathing extremely heavy. And like the drool was starting to like form at his big, like flappy jowls.
I wonder if we could find a tavern that would allow us to keep him there.
I mean, probably not inside.
I mean, we have housing at the church.
Oh yeah,
True,
the
true.
church.
The church.
Church.
Do they allow the Blink Dog in?
No, they will definitely not allow the Blink Dog in.
Oh.
That means one of us has to stay with him overnight.
Or he blinks himself into my room.
I mean,
I don't think you would kind of disrespect the paladins at the temple, or are they paladins? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yes, I
like
guess.
I wouldn't recommend disrespecting the paladins and wizards.
And the cop.
Fair.
Speaking of which, I'm going to use sending again to contact Donathan
Didn't-
Provolonen.
oh, sending to check in on Don Provolone.
Yeah, I need to make another check using my magic.
Okay, go ahead.
$17.
So yeah, so
nice.
that is a pass, right?
I mean, it's
Easily.
equal to my spell DC, or actually no,
Yeah.
it's equal to
Yeah.
what is it equal to? It's equal to 10 plus the spell's level, so it's the DC would be 13.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so what do you send to Don Provolone?
Hey Don, how's the cult going?
Project.
How's the project
Why?
going?
And is that it
Yeah, so far.
so far? Okay, gotcha. So on the other end, you hear, Master, is that you? I haven't heard from you in so long. I thought you'd forgotten about me. And he says, the recruiting has been good. I've recruited 4 other people.
Wow.
Wow,
Can I
that
go?
is impressive. Wait, I
This is
just counted the
most
syllables.
not
Whoops.
impressive voice ever.
Wow, that is impressive.
Hey, I'm trying to count while talking to you. Have you made any money?
Money
Any
is
and
one
money
word,
are
not two.
definitely one word. You said 25 words, not syllables.
He said, he says, well, we've been able to do some break-ins and some robberies, and we've made some gold through that way.
Holy
Pretty sure
shit,
that's
I
what-
was
that
not
was 25
expecting that.
You're right. You're making a cult of criminals, essentially.
I'm making another thieves guild.
We
I-
better don't.
Good job, and that's 10 words, so I still have a few more.
And he says, I'm still trying to recruit more people, though. Many are unwilling in this desolate island.
Okay, be careful.
I thought you just were like, okay, B.
Alright, B.
Yeah, don't literally. I'm pretty sure Don said more than 25 words.
Probably I'll have to go back and check. I
How
actually wasn't
loyal
counting.
are the new peeps?
Peeps. You could say people, it's the same length.
It's not syllable.
How's the peeps going, B?
And there's no reply.
Don't. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that means his amount of words is up.
Don has more words as like a
Because he's an
kind of
NPC spot
yeah,
by
no, because he can't read. He has like a recreation place. What's the word?
Actually,
have
one second, I want to check the spell
consolation
real
for
quick.
Can't be stopped by word limitation if you can't count.
Can't
Count?
count by word limitation if you can't count.
And
Okay, well, I guess that's it for now.
okay, cool. All right, so what is the plan? What's everyone doing?
Okay,
Well-
guys, we should at first get away from the house because I
Mhm.
found something and
Oh,
I
hi.
don't want to open it and suddenly have like guards coming around the corner.
Okay, we could go back to the temple and
With
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty
dog?
yes, with the dog.
You
But
shouldn't disrespect other people's religion.
They hate
Well,
the
maybe
dog.
they'll say yes. He is
They
friendly.
virulently hate the dog.
Do you really want to risk the dog's life? Do it for the dog, come on. Because that's dangerous for him.
Okay, okay, good. Then where are we gonna stay if not? Like, I don't want to pay for. We could as well just like stay.
I have a
help
house.
Yeah.
Will your parents be okay with that?
Guess we don't know till we ask. Come on. And I point over in the way of my house.
Thanks,
Start
Tony.
walking over.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tony. I would hug you, but I'd be scared. But I learned to not hug people because they could accidentally stab you. Or on
Aw.
I'm not-
purpose.
I'm not gonna stab you, what?
And you get there in a fairly quick amount of time.
Nice.
And enter into your house, and it's still kind of fairly late, so your parents are sleeping.
Shh. Shh. Come in. I sneak everyone inside.
Okay, taking you back
Oh.
to your proper school days.
Oh,
I whispered to Tony, how many spare rooms do you have? Or do we have to sleep in the same room again?
none. I have my room.
Okay, so we're sleeping in the same room again. Great.
Shh, the dog's not sleeping in there.
Good. Then I'm sleeping outside with the dog. Good.
Fine. Good news, there's only 3 people in my room. And I lead the dog out into the garden.
Okay,
Good. Fine. Good.
It's 6 feet tall! I can't bring it upstairs!
You're 6 feet tall too.
Yes, but it's as I bring in a horse into the house!
Okay, we should. Okay, yeah. Okay, you got a point.
There's a
Okay,
couch
okay.
next to the door. You can sleep there. You'll be able to see the dog out the window.
Just good night, Spaz. I love you so much. Just giving me a little like a kiss on his forehead. She's like, I love you. See you. Good morning.
Close the door.
roll an animal handling check for me.
Oh no.
Okay.
You
Don't
accidentally
worry, I'm
punched
good-
the
I'm
dog. Roll for initiative.
I'm good at animal handling.
Well, you can still
I
roll
say
that
as I
one.
probably
I soon
rolled
jinx
that
it.
one.
Oh.
22. See?
Okay.
Told you.
So Spaz like starts to stand up to like follow you back inside, but as you like kind of put your hands on his head and kind of push him, not push him, but like kind of hold him back from following you. He sits back down on his own and lays down and just watches you as you go back into the house.
See, he like turns to Tony. Please, you're the bestest boy.
We need to get up really early. Because I've got parents wake up and find a giant dog in the garden. Okay.
I mean, Talia's does meditate, right, and doesn't actually sleep, so that should be no problem for her.
Just before my parents get up. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone come upstairs quietly.
Do we have to roll a stealth check? I shouldn't have said that.
Quietly.
Yeah, I would say roll
Fuck.
stealth.
Fuck.
You have to bring it up.
Wait, are we all staying at Tony's place?
I mean, we could literally just
12.
13. I rolled a 2.
6!
Oh.
So Hadrada, Durgit, and Talia like all silently go up the stairs, and then Tony begins to follow. And as he does,
Falls downstairs.
his boot gets caught on the edge of the stairs. There's a kind of a overhang on one of the stairs that hasn't been fixed yet, and he just trips on his face, and you hear the loud like clattering of his armor onto the wood.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Suddenly, like his parents come out of their rooms and
It's just
kind of
Ava.
look around and look down
Or-
the stairs. And they say,
It's just
my,
me.
my God, Tony, what's going on?
Oh, I need somewhere to sleep for the night. I fell down the stairs. I thought I'd come and sleep in my old room. Is that cool?
And they're like, that's fine.
Yeah, thanks. Don't
You
worry
know.
about it. It's fine. I've closed up the door and stuff. Oh, thanks.
Say,
Sorry
okay.
about waking you
And we'll
Go
see
back
you
to
in the
bed.
morning.
up. Okay. I mean, I gotta get up pretty early in the morning, but like, you know.
And they turn and like go back into their room.
Okay, fine.
Yo, Tony, your parents were pretty chill about us being here.
You're already in the room.
Oh, okay.
You made it. I hope.
Yeah, they did.
I clamber up to my room.
Got up the stairs quietly and into the room.
Right.
All they saw was Tony. So yeah, are you all taking a long rest?
Oh,
I mean, not a
Before
long
we
one
take a
because.
No, wait. We wanted to check the envelope.
Oh, yeah. Are we all in the room?
Shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that all of you are in the room now.
Okay, I look at the envelope. Is it like sealed with like wax and stuff, or like just normal letter?
It is sealed with a wax seal.
Okay, I show this to Toad. Like, do you recognize this?
Do I?
I would say roll a history check at advantage.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
Doesn't
2
even
nat
matter.
20s.
2 nat 20s, what?
Damn.
Destiny. So the seal, the image on the seal looks to be a set of the scales used for weighing out gold.
It looks to be a set of the scales used for weighing out gold.
I can see that. What does it mean?
And you know that the person with that seal is the gold master of
Must
Play
be
of Su-
the gold master of Plague Sula.
But we do need that the gold master or whatever to get that gold closed off community thingy, right? Wasn't something like this?
Why don't we open the letter?
Yeah, I opened the letter carefully
Okay.
and hold it away from me just in case something will blow up my face.
Yeah, I step away from them.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, we're in my house, so it's like worst case scenario, we all die anyway.
1 second, let me.
Roll a
Hold up
dice to
the,
see if it's trapped with poison
Let me
powder.
just get the damage dice up for a bomb real quick.
40
How much does
d6.
napalm do again?
So,
How many d6 damage?
on Discord is where this
Uh-oh.
will be.
Okay.
You do find this inside of the envelope.
district?
This is
A
how
gold
we-
district pass.
We
The
did.
holder of this pass, Harlan. Is this an L?
Harlan Coolport.
What?
Harlan
Coolport.
Okay.
Harlan.
Harlan.
Cool.
Oh, that's has access to the gold district pertaining to essential
Business dealing.
within. They have full access to the banking sector. The B kind looks like a K. And civilian sector. Any guard reading this pass is required to allow access to the holder, Harlan Coolport.
Well,
Who
this
is
is
that?
useless to us because we're not Harlan Coolport.
Person we just.
But do they know this?
I wouldn't want to risk it.
I mastered. I
Maybe
have
we don't need to
mastered-
risk it.
I have a master in thief, not assassin. I'm sorry.
Maybe we don't have to risk it.
Do you know him?
We could just ask the guards if they know Harlan Coolport.
Yeah, but not the guards in this gold district, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go up to them and ask, hey, do you know Harlan Coolporters? I'm looking for them. And if they say yes, then we can't use the pass to get in. And if they say no, I'll be like, great, I'm on my way. And then you can come up and be like, hey, I'm Harlan Coolport. I got this
Yeah,
fancy pass.
Okay, we have to get disguise kits then.
I have
Wait,
one.
I think I have one too, like one left over,
I'm pretty
maybe.
sure I
I
have
don't know.
3.
Let's see.
I
We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
disguise
total,
kits.
we have one invisibility cloak.
yeah. Okay, true. It should recharge. I think maybe.
Well, when we wake up, it probably will.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm the best at bullshitting. So
I'm pretty
No,
sure
wait,
Talia is the best at bullshitting.
Talia, what's your bullshitting score?
My bullshitting score is, persuasion is 10.
And deception? Because we need to.
It's 7.
My deception is 9 and persuasion is.
How do you guys have such high
6.
stats? My highest is 7.
You have a 7?
Sorry, Tony.
I mean, I do have. I do have. Wait.
You guys have
16
stats?
I do have 16 charisma and expertise in deception and intimidation. So.
Don't you get like
Any-
more expertise as it goes on?
Proficiency.
I got like I think I started with like 3 and I could add another one later on, but not doesn't get permanently go up.
Oh, okay. I was talking about expertise, not proficiency.
Yeah, I'm talking about expertise.
I was talking to Tony.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. With the gold district pass, is only one person or like +1? Like wife, children, maybe helpers.
Business
with the-
dealings.
Yeah, helpers with the shop,
partners
whatever.
in-
Crime, not
Only
crime.
one.
Find out.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. So I guess. So if these guys don't know him, then I guess Talia and I will get into makeup, drag, whatever, and bullshit our way through.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So you're going to get into disguise prematurely, essentially.
Yeah, but not yet. At first we
You should probably
sleep
sleep
for,
first, right?
Yeah, until Talia wakes us up.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll say that everyone takes a long rest.
Oh, you should probably put alarm so that if the blink dog leaves, we know.
I
Oh,
don't have alarm.
fair point.
Oh, yeah,
Hello,
right,
I would
but-
like to cast alarm.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Around the garden area, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell me if the blink dog does anything sus.
Okay. I think wouldn't it have to cross through the alarm though to trigger it? I don't think it would happen with its.
Well, I could have an
teleport.
alarm telling me when it leaves the alarm, right?
I'm not sure to be honest.
Like it would no longer be triggered.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't really know how alarm works, but
Or maybe just
makes sense in my
tie
head.
tie it to the blink dog, like on a collar or something, or around its neck, and then tie it to
You
a.
have color for the dog.
It's magic. It's not like a physical thing. It's not gonna hurt it in any way. So if it teleports and the alarm gets broken, then it would go off.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll say that that's what you do. So
Brilliant.
Spaz is currently staying where he was left at
Good.
for
In
now.
that case, I try and make everyone a bed.
Okay.
Not the first time I've slept on the floor.
Andrade, you can have this chair in the corner with a
Nice.
pillow on it.
I'm
Durga,
sleeping. Can I sleep under the bed so your parents don't immediately see me when opening the door? If they open the door.
Yeah, sure.
There has to be
I
one
have a
person
spare
in the
cover if you want that.
They
Just
just
give
see
me a
you
pillow,
under the
then
bed,
you
and you're
can-
like, and they're like, what the fuck?
Well, that's terrifying.
What a weirdo.
You're just gonna sit in the corner, Talia, and meditate.
I mean, at least now you know that there isn't a monster under your bed, unless you consider me a
No,
monster.
there's a Durga there, and that's a little
Yeah,
say.
unless you consider me a monster, which is kind of racist.
I was gonna say, or is there?
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I mean, the monster's more likely on the chair. I haven't killed as many people as I Mom, there's a monster on the chair. Yeah.
But yeah, so all of you like regain
Yeah.
your hit die and all the benefits of a long rest,
Noise.
and wake up in the morning, the sun shining through the window.
Talia's immediately going outside to check on the dog.
Okay.
Quietly.
Spaz is still sleeping right where you left him.
Good. Like I
also
go back upstairs and like give Tony a thumbs up that the dog is still there, didn't do anything evil or something. It's still just there.
You love something, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be.
And if not, fucking hunt it down and kill it.
Wow.
Oh.
Get yours.
In that case, I'll attempt to sneak everyone out of the house.
Okay. I would say. You wouldn't even have to roll stealth checks. We'll say, just a knock at the door, like, "Hey, Ma, we're leaving, or I'm leaving."
I'm like,
Bye.
who's we?
Wait,
No
what?
one, just me and Sam. Yeah, me and Sam. We're
Right,
I
like,
have
cool.
dissociative identity disorder.
But cool, yeah. You make your way down the stairs and out the front door, and you are back on the streets of Playa Ixula.
nice. So, we gotta pass the gold district if we want to do any illegal.
Well, don't the guards already know us? Like, they've seen us before. Unless it's different guards, I hope it is.
That's a good point.
I mean, we can check if they are the same guards, like, just pass by, or like one of us and pretend we have nothing to do there, except for like taking a walk.
Yeah, may as well check.
Okay. So you guys are just gonna do like a quick walk by, like visual
Yeah,
assessment.
but we shouldn't be in the group if Talia and I are gonna do the bullshitting if it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So who is going to walk by and look to see if it's the same guards?
I'll do it.
So yeah.
And if it's not, you might as well just ask if you know the Harlan cool
Or,
Harlan
The
Cool
dude.
Paul.
that guy.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll say that Tony begins to walk around the vicinity of the gate to the Gold District, and roll a perception check.
A titty check.
Ooh, I do love me a perception check.
That's
nice.
that's. I mean, you
Wow.
can't get much
Oh.
better than that.
I've just had like 4 nat 20s in a row.
Yes. Holy shit.
You just burned up all your good luck rolls for the day. It's all downhill from here. So yeah, you walk by can't even think of the word.
Inconspicuously.
Yes, that's the word. As you can, and you look at the guards as you walk by, and you do notice that they are in fact the same ones.
Fuck.
Damn.
And also with
Okay.
that perception check, something of note is that you see compared to the other regular city guards, these have like a gold sash over the outside of their armor.
I go up to one of the guards and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a trader that's supposed to have come by here. They're called Harlan Coolport. Just because you know them."
And the guard kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, look who's back.
Yeah, hi.
You got a pass yet?"
But I'm not trying to get in. This is beside that point. I'm looking for a one Harlan Coolpot. They're supposed to be coming in here around this time.
He says, "I don't know. I don't know who that is. There's so
Well-
many people with passes."
Look, I was just checking. Okay, calm down. We're good, right? Me and you, we're friends, yeah.
He says, "Oh yeah, we're good."
I'm just looking for a person. All right, that's all that's happening.
He says, "Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I can't say
Well-
that I know that person." So
Thank you. That is a shame. But thanks anyway. I'll come back later. Thanks. Bye. And I wander off.
Yep.
Back to
They
the
yell
park,
back,
around
please
the corner.
don't.
What's that?
I said
I
they yell
wander
back,
off.
please don't.
So yeah, you make it back over to the rest of the party.
And I tell them they don't know who this is. They have no idea.
Okay,
That
so
is
for
They
good.
do know who you are.
yeah, okay,
So-
Tony, for reference, how many half orcs with purple skin walk around Plague Zula?
None.
Excuse me?
One.
Well, apart from you. I mean, I thought you meant a regular.
Well, fuck.
I mean, you're kind of like a unicorn in that regard.
Question, can you use disguise? I know it has self in the name, but can you use disguise self on other people?
You could disguise self, and we have 2 disguise kits, right?
Yeah, but disguise kids isn't disguise self in a pack,
Yes.
it's literally just makeup.
But
Stuff might crash
we
now.
have an invisibility cloak.
And I have invisibility.
True.
And I now can cast it 3 times. But that
True.
would waste all my level 2 spell slots.
Fancy.
True, but
Actually,
we should probably.
can't you cast it at level 3, and that would make it so that you can use 1 level 3 spell slot, and you can make everyone invisible?
A creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Well, if you all touch me at the same time, maybe. This is concentration up to 1 hour, so we can only roam around here without a pass.
Well,
Invisible
that implies
for
there's
1
still
hour.
guards in there, like, checking
pretty
people
sure there's
randomly for
still-
passes.
But I'm sure there's still guards in there, and I'd have to cast invisibility again if we want to, you know, get out of there.
I don't think you have to
recommend
show a
just not
pass
doing
to
that.
leave.
Yeah, but they'll see that it's us, and they know that we don't have a pass.
That's a
And they'll
good
wonder,
point.
oh, how did they get in? You know? You get where I'm going with this?
That's a good point. Is there another gate?
No.
Oh.
I can
You know
only
what,
disguise self for 1 hour as well, so
No,
You
there's
don't have
only
disguise self.
one gate into the gold district, and it dead ends at the
Guys,
city
you know
walls.
what? It's not. First of all, this isn't 100% necessary. I can probably get some other Thieves Guild connections going somewhere else.
Guys, I just realized.
Yes.
They don't know our names.
They
They have
don't.
no idea what our names are.
That's true. That's
You
true.
could be Harlan Coolpot for all we care.
But but if you were looking for that person, you've been seen with us. So
Yes. But I haven't been seen wearing an invisibility cloak, have I?
that's fair.
Okay, but I think I won't be playing that role because again I'm like the only half orc in Plague Zula right now. At
I
least
could
with
get
purple skin.
into
Alia
that,
is
like-
playing Harlan
I-
Coolpot, and you two
Okay,
are
then I'm
playing
gonna have to-
associates.
then I'm gonna have to get into drag because I'm a woman and that person seems to be obviously male.
I mean, do they? I don't know.
All right, Drag King.
Fine,
thing,
Hadrada's Harlan Coolpot then.
one
Okay,
thing is, I
that's
don't
easy.
really want to do this.
So I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
I'll gladly get into dark.
Why do you not want to do this?
Because I don't really care about getting into the gold district.
Yeah, honestly, and also second thought, it's not that urgent. Like, it's good that we have the opportunity, but we should probably wait until either the gods are switched or until like we get around here again, because we still have some other missions like going. You know, we were planning on what was the thing called? Like the Bearded Devil, like somewhere in not in a
I don't.
different city?
I thought we weren't gonna do that. I thought
We weren't gonna do that, but we were gonna check up on if this thing is a problem locally and maybe cash in some
fair.
what's it called?
Fair.
I'll be back in a second.
Bounty.
bounty there, yeah.
I believe So what do we have to do? The devil thing, and we have... I have to go somewhere south
I'm back.
at some point.
Yeah,
I
but-
have to go to Estill because we have to go to Estill because Mune's here, but I personally have to go to Estill because of my girlfriend.
We
Yes,
also have to go to
unfortunately, that is on
Estill
another
because that's
continent.
where my relic is.
That's true. That's also true.
And I have to not get killed by my pirate crew as of right now.
Being inland is a pretty good way of doing that.
True, but we shouldn't get at the moment I step foot onto Santine without a new crew member, I'm screwed. I am royally screwed.
Alright, so the devil is to our west.
Yeah.
Into shore. Which is quite a walk.
Yeah, but hopefully they
We
have
do
some.
Deathbringer and
We do have Deathbringer.
no, a card, I think,
And Spaz.
and Spaz.
Do you think after
Yeah.
we're done with the stuff in Esdale, we could go to
Blackfield?
no? Could we go to my home?
Sure.
Because I need to give the relic back to my parents once we're finished there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
And,
seems.
and then we'll get to Valm to figure out what the fuck's going on with my captain.
What a brilliant round trip.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And
also,
on our
you
way
could just find
somewhere.
some homeless people, like I do, for crew members.
And true, but and we should probably get to Blackfield because we promised we'd come back.
Exactly, that's also true.
Tomland.
No, the blacksmith. We promised the blacksmith that we'd be back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but I promised myself I'd be back for Tomland.
and I promised myself I'd kick the Baron's ass.
Fair.
Alright.
It would be funny if when I was a guard I just said I love you and then left.
Would you say you cut off?
I said, wouldn't it be funny if when I was as that guard, when I was like disguised as the guard, if I just said I love you to the blacksmith and then left?
Yo, this is like fantastic cutting out.
Oh my
Like
god.
exactly the same point every time.
What the fuck is wrong with my mic? Okay.
Very consistent.
It would be funny if when I...
We don't need you to be closer, this is just more bass.
It would be funny if when I was the guard that I just said I love you to the blacksmith and then left.
I love you.
No,
I
that would
love
not
you,
be funny. That'd be
Leaves.
really fucking rude of you.
I mean, we can send fake love letters to Tomlin.
You can send big love letters to Tomlin.
Said fake
From-
letters to
from-
Tomlin
from your-
is
from your
the best
secret admirer.
sentence I've heard today.
I'm gonna
I mean, why
slowly
not?
catfish Tomland.
The,
Each one-
thief-
Each one just has like a aerial poison that comes out of the envelope every time he opens it. It just fills his bedroom up with this poison.
I'm pretty
Telling
sure
them
that's
slowly.
just I'm pretty sure that's just anthrax.
we can. I mean, technically, the moment we find a thief skill, we can anonymously like send letters and make like secret admirer or stuff like that. Then we can lure him somewhere like some location outside of like Blackfield or whatever. Maybe even without his armor on.
Just
then we can
jump
literally
Tomlin.
easily kill him. I mean,
But-
his head on a peak would be a grade A war declaration.
But what are we doing today?
Oh, that would be so. Yes. I like the way you think.
But yeah,
Well, I
so
feel like
what
we're
are we
already at
doing
war.
at this moment, though? Like,
We-
what's
currently we're just stood around talking about the future, apparently.
True.
See, you're making plans, like it said in the tarot reading.
We were going to stick around a bit to see how the situation with the governor and shit like that is going.
We should probably check up on that as well, eventually.
I mean, it's been a day. I don't think they've made much,
Progress,
you know,
yeah, I know.
progress.
But like, once it's actually like, once we're like a few months from now, like we should probably check up on it at some
Okay.
point.
So in Vudar, we got a devil in to shore, and we have somewhere vaguely south that I need to go and I don't know, high five or something.
Yeah.
There's like
Well,
a
I sort
temple
of
thing.
don't want to continue Tony's arc until we're powerful enough to beat that dude.
until
Until
what?
what?
Until we're powerful enough to beat that dude.
That's fair. He has
I
a
mean,
point.
It's not explicitly implied that we have to maul him to death tomorrow.
Well, yeah, but like, we're probably going to fight him at the other temple. Not like metagaming or anything, but like genuinely, we're probably going to have to fight him like somewhere else. Like
True,
pretty
but, like,
soon
who
if we
said-
go down his story arc.
Well, the guy did say he's gonna come back when Tony is stronger.
Yeah, that's true.
And Tony, so he shouldn't come back that soon.
I also need to finish my story arc. He says
I need
poutily.
to
As we all
I need
do.
to start my story arc.
Yeah, I need to start my story arc.
So
Well,
Can I
I mean-
say
the,
story arc?
At the moment, we were following Tony's, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we
Hold
could
on,
keep
Casey.
following Tony's, but like, I want to get a bit more powerful first.
My point is we're here, so why don't we bother?
Well, we don't
We
have to
may
be
as
here
well.
anymore. I think we did enough for now. Hold on, wait a second.
We could take a vacation.
We could do that, but wasn't there something Colosseum, something letters, something contract doing, like we stole from a different group that brawled over it?
That's true. That's true.
Did you guys get that?
Yeah, we did. I think.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
stole a thing from Carbus.
Okay. Did you guys happen to read?
I don't believe so.
I don't think I read it.
I read it and then I forgot it. Well, it's somewhere in my notes and I can't read my own notes, so.
Great.
Okay. Well, I have it pulled up, so I can
Oh, that's fantastic, thank you.
Fakab and give you a divine intervention.
Can I have some
Oh,
divine
very kind
insight,
of you,
please?
Cobb.
So the notice read, "To any sturdy adventurers, there's been a mythic beast seen near Copria. Gold and even greater opportunity awaits upon delivery. Inquire with Sakia at the old military encampment outside of Zondiris to collect payment."
That's vague.
Outside of where?
For which one? Oh, Zondiris.
That's to the east. Can you put that in, like, DM notes or something?
Oh, the letter.
Yeah. What's the symbol below Zondiris mean?
Let me pull it up real quick. Let me see. Since you're from here, roll a history check at advantage.
Nice. If I can find history, there we go.
Wow.
Wow. I'm not very smart, okay?
What did you
Go
get?
3.
Okay. Yeah. The name rings a bell to you, but you just can't place what it is you know about this place that would make it, kind of stick in your mind.
Damn, that's unhelpful.
But it all escapes you.
That
So
was
what
an
are we
unfortunate roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After all these 20s.
Well, he did say that this, you know. that was
Okay,
the whole
so
rule.
where are we supposed to go? Like, cash in some money in the east or in the west, possibly?
What's that?
I asked the group, like, where do you want to go next? We can
Where we
get
off?
money both in both east and west, so
Well, I feel like West it would take a little longer. Because don't we have to collect all 4 things to make it? To
again,
get
it's
money?
not about collecting all things. It's about we know this thing is a violent creature. It probably makes issues in the area itself.
Yeah, but we're not just gonna receive money for killing it, I doubt.
Yeah, that's why we go into the city first. Ask if they have a problem with it, then kill it.
I'm gonna coerce money out of people.
Yeah.
That's what Avengers do. That's
gonna
literally
witch
our
them.
job.
But I guess like great fortune, whatever, sounds better.
Vague great fortune.
Yeah. So I guess east.
I could do that.
Or we could go south.
Still
What is
an option.
there?
I have to go south to go say hi to a shrine.
That's fair.
Because my granddad said so.
Alright.
The cop compelled you to.
Yeah.
We can literally just roll like a D2 or whatever to make out where we want to go. 'Cause I can't
Rochambeau.
decide.
We could do them in like order of distance.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if we went east now, it'd be a long walk there, and then we'd have to take a long walk back, then go back south, and then come back up from the south, and then take a long
True.
walk back to Corbus. Whereas if we went south and back to Plexula, then to the
Yeah, but
east,
where's-
and then
where-
straight to Corbus.
Where south do we have to go?
I don't know. We have to go talk to him and ask.
Okay. Then let's
He
do
said it
that.
was somewhere south. Alright, we're off to the library to ask where we need to go.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way back over to the Temple of Bakab, and the destruction from previously is still being cleaned up. There's chunks of like stone on the walkways, and it's still in somewhat disrepair on the outside.
Oh yeah, and keep Spaz away from the whatever
Yes,
temple.
right.
Yeah, maybe like stand outside with him, someone.
Fine, I'm waiting outside with Spaz. Having a
Okay.
good time.
Okay.
Alone here.
And yeah, so you enter into the temple, and you see your mentor Sylvan, and one of like walking in and out between one of the large bookcases.
Dylan! Over
And
here!
stops and looks over and notices you, and kind of walks briskly over to you, and says, "Are you ready to depart
To where?
to Anukari? We were supposed
Yes,
to
thank
go
you.
there to, communicate with the cop."
That's a walk.
He says, "Yes, it will be a long journey. We'll leave Plexula and go south. We'll make a stop in Tenla Village, and then from there we'll finish the stretch to Anukari."
Okay. Cool. Yeah?
And he says, "If you're ready, I'll gather the others and we can depart."
I look to the team, hey?
We should tell him about the dog ride.
Yes, we
Because
should.
the dog is coming with us.
By the way, Sylvan. Hi.
He says, "Yes. You have something to ask?"
I have taken into my custody
To
an
rephrase
extra
it-
planar being.
We've taken it
No,
into
no,
our
no,
custody.
shush. I do the talking to the wizard, man.
Tony was
Please.
against it. To his defense.
We've taken into our custody an extra planar being in order to assure that it does not harm any of the natural order.
And he says,
Is that fine?
"Extra planar being?
Yes.
What kind of foul demon is it?"
No, it's not a demon. Don't worry. It's a blink dog. But
And he stops and says, "A blink dog?
yes,
I've only ever heard of those. You
I
know they're
know.
magic. You know they're magical creatures, right?"
yes, and they could be dangerous, but we're keeping it in our custody so that we can assure that it doesn't harm anyone.
And he says, "I've only ever heard of them. I've never had the chance to see one.
They're
Can I
very
go-
cool.
Can I go see it?"
It's outside.
He says, "Well, lead the way. Lead the way."
Holly's just
Take him
outside
outside.
playing with Spaz, like petting him, and just like kind of like playing with him. Just like, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Are you my
He's
good boy?
quite
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
And like walks up and he's like, "Oh my goodness, look at the size of it."
Is
And he
it
walks up and like kind of gets down low and like scratches him behind the ear and says, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?" And he looks at Talia and says, "Is he yours?"
Yes, he's my good boy. His name is Spaz.
And he says, do you think we could take him into the temple and show the others?"
Of
I
course,
thought-
of course.
Tony, what the fuck?
Yeah, Talia also looks over to Tony like, Tony, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Happy likes talks.
and he begins to walk back up the steps and go back into the library of the temple. And you hear him call out to the others, Kozar, come out, I have something to show you. And the other three mages come out from studying different books, and kind of group up around Sylvan. And as you approach with the blink dog, they look at the size of it at first and say, what is that?
It's a
And
blink dog.
And he turns and says, magical creature, it's a blink dog. And they all just kind of oh.
And it's a
are-
very good boy.
Yeah,
And
his
I
name is
pet-
Spaz.
I pet
very-
Spaz.
They're very quick to approach and kind of inspect it and kind of look it over and whisper to each other oh my goodness, this creature is amazing.
Talia's so happy that everyone shares her big love for Spaz.
Right,
Everyone
Tony?
except Tony.
The dog is a nice dog. I appreciate the role the dog plays in the group dynamic as a big dog.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you like him.
And at this point, Spaz is on its back, showing his belly, his
That is
giant
incredible.
5-foot long torso, and Sylvan and the other mages are all scratching his belly, both just
Aw.
two-handed and not even covering most of it. The leg starts to shake,
Okay, I'll join in.
and as the leg starts to shake more, he poofs out.
Oh shit.
He shows up about 20 feet away from you, still on its back with its legs shaking, and poofs back into existence. And the leg stops because it's not being pet anymore.
Oh.
So yeah,
Talia's
that's the
just
dog.
nodding yeah, that's my boy. So happy.
Is that okay if we bring him? That's cool.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Great.
The more the merrier. Macabre will appreciate the presence of this magical creature.
Talia turns to Tony with the most shit-eating grin on her face.
I Rumble. I mean, technically, aren't fiends also magical creatures? Technically?
Yes, but they're evil.
They're bad magical.
So have we ever
I'm-
decided to go to south yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean,
'cause I wasn't
is
paying
that-
attention.
Isn't that kind of racist?
Well,
It's not racist.
Sylvan essentially had told Tony that if he was ready, he would gather the others and all of you could depart. So it's up to you. It's up to all of you if you're ready to go now or what you want to do.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, we don't really have
Why
Get
we're
anything
some
else to
people
do.
into a cult first.
Do what?
Oh, you want to find a cultist?
Yeah, I want to recruit some people into my cult.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, we can definitely do that before everyone departs.
So I'm gonna look
So-
for some homeless people.
Okay.
Okay.
Where
Your
are you
favorite
going?
catchphrase?
Where are you going to? The market, the dock, or not the docks? The market, or
The
Kind of
market,
the
this
more-
way no one can throw my books into the docks.
the?
Oh, we aren't at the sea.
Yeah, I just
The
remember that.
sad dog.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
nowhere
Okay.
near a source of water.
Okay.
There's
so
no
then,
water here. We're in a desert.
Okay, so then you are going to the market.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you head to the market. Roll an investigation check.
Come on, come on.
Homeless people.
What did I
Yeah.
roll?
6.
Oh, okay.
Everyone around the market seems very well paid and happy with their current life situation generally. So there aren't many homeless people or
I'm gonna ask around, just someone near me. Where's the poorest part of town?
and they say, well, south of the Gold District, there's, the residential areas for just the general population, lot of them are kind of run down out that way, so...
I will head to the poor place.
The poor place.
Poor place. Okay, so yeah, you can call it the residentials too.
No,
Poor
the
place.
poor place, obviously.
The place of the
Christ,
poor,
yeah.
the poor place of poor.
So yeah, you make your way down that way, and you know, as you were told, it's a very run-down looking part of town. Most of the homes are shacks. Some have like pieces of wood missing off the outside walls, and are just in a generally rough-looking state.
Poor people about.
Roll investigation.
14.
Okay. You do see what looks to be a group of like 3 beggars. There's like a charred out fire pit that they're all sitting around, and, like some pieces of like bone from a previously cooked meal. You see them, and not much else.
Okay, I walk up to them.
Okay. Yeah, they don't really pay you any mind as you walk up. They're kind of used to not being noticed by people, so.
I pull out 10 gold
Okay.
and
You guys are me there to prove
I,
out persuade, so.
divide it
That's
out
what
as
we need
evenly
to
as
do.
possible between them.
Okay. And as you do, they look up to you and say, well, thank you, sire.
No
Why
problem.
so generous?
Well, I was wondering something. Have you been looking for a way to take back your life, maybe?
Christ. There we
I
go
see.
again.
Yes, absolutely.
Can any of you read?
And one raises his hand and says, I can read, mostly.
I hand him a book.
Okay.
One of my prayer books.
And
And
he
say-
looks down and reads the title and says, Corn. Are you offering us food?
That depends, my good sir.
And he says, upon what?
Upon if you are willing to join me.
And he says, join you how? Like, what is it that you would have us do? And what do we get in exchange for it?
Well, all you really need to do is pray to Korn and follow my bidding, and follow his bidding, of course, if he decides to contact you. And
Read the book.
yeah, I'll read the book out to you. Let me just show you what we're all about. Chaos started with the 4 gods: Tzent, Slanesh,
I mean,
Nurgle,
I
and
meant tell
Korn.
them to read the book.
Korn is the one that will set us free, free to embark in our most primal instincts. We will set Korn free together, so that he may set us free. Korn was imprisoned by the Pantheon of Eothar, and we must set him free. He will lay his wrath on the Pantheon of Eothar with his legions of demons once his power is restored. He will destroy us. He will destroy the Pantheon and save our world from their tyrannical rule. He will save us and let us indulge in our most primal instincts. He will bring chaos to order. He will bring freedom to tyranny.
Some really creative writing, Andromeda.
Thank you.
I would
should
say
have some-
roll a persuasion check at advantage.
Yeah, I was
Ooh,
about to say, give him advantage on that because Christ, that
Yeah,
that,
that's a very-
that got me convinced.
Very good sales pitch, and you would like kind of grease the palms with some gold before.
18.
Okay, so as you're reading this, like they're trying to take it all in, and like their eyes are kind of like in a surprised looking open state, and they're just kind of nodding as you're rattling this off and like agreeing with you
Ooh.
without understanding, like, yes, of course. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. Oh, for
We
sure,
like it.
definitely.
You want this?
And at the end of your spiel, they say, look, as long as you can give us some food and let us earn some decent money, we'll do whatever you want. Whatever the god of corn or whoever he is wants us to do.
Okay.
God of corn.
The god of corn.
Let us talk in a tavern. Follow me. And I bring them to the
Well-
closest tavern.
Meanwhile, in the temple, everyone's still like gushing over, over Spas.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way into the Oasis Tavern.
Well, Spaz is a good boy.
Spas is the
Um,
bestest boy.
And I buy them
He's a
some
pretty
food.
good-
How much would that cost?
Food,
Yeah, for all of them.
that will be... That will be 10 gold. So 30 gold for 3 meals.
30 gold for 3 meals? 7, 6, 5, 4.
30 gold for 3 meals.
Okay.
They're 10 gold a pop. So
I buy them each a meal.
okay, which they gladly accept and begin to just devour it as soon as the plate is set in front of them.
And I assume they're all willing. So
Yes.
I'm going to use Phantasmal Force on them to project corn to their minds.
Here we go again.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Another projection of corn.
So if they're willing, they don't have to make the intelligence saving throw.
Okay, yeah, no, they're willing, and they see corn, and like as they're like putting like a mouthful of like food, like holding like a chicken thigh that they're like biting into, and they see like the phantasmal image of corn, like it drops out of their hands onto the plate, and they kind of like jump back a little bit, like what the hell is that?
This, my friends, is corn.
You sound like a Disney villain.
That's true.
So it's so good.
And they like kind of try to reach out to touch it. It is just an illusion, right? So there
Yeah,
could
it's
be
just an
nothing to-
illusion, so they wouldn't be able to touch it.
Yeah, their hand like goes through it and they pull it back out. Like this is your god.
Yes.
Our god. In communism, it's our god.
Communism is our god.
And they say, "Well, I certainly want to invoke the anger of this deity. So whatever you'll have us do, we'll do it immediately."
Well, let us get you somewhere to live first.
You cut out there.
I said, let us get you somewhere to live first. Where would I be able to procure a cheap abode?
And they look at each other and look at you like, "Hell if we know. We've been living on the streets."
I'll ask the bartender then. I ask the bartender, where would I be able to procure a cheap abode?
And they say, "Well, you could go and talk to the gold master. He's usually in charge of, any gold that changes hand in the city, whether it be for residences or businesses."
I guess I go to the gold master and ask him if how much a cheap abode would cost to rent for 5 months.
Okay, so you make
Like
your
the
way out of the
cheapest
tavern
abode.
and go back to the royal palace. The guards let you in, having previously seen you with the captain of the guard. And you go in, and instead of going straight into the throne room, there's another hallway that goes off to the right, and you follow that way because on the wall in front of you there's a painted gold set of scales with an arrow pointing like down the other hallway.
Yep.
So you walk in and go to the gold master's office and knock on the door.
Knock, knock, knock.
And as you do, the door opens and you see like an older man with like a scruffy beard, like a receding hairline, but it's been shaved down to stubble. And he's just very old, like the gums on his teeth begin to kind of grow taller in comparison to his teeth, like showing more of like the whites. And he's very old looking, but nonetheless, he's very well dressed. He has like a red and gold trimmed robe on and several large jewel encrusted rings on his fingers.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'm assuming you're the gold master.
He says, "That I am.
I was
What do you
wondering.
need, sir?"
I was wondering how much your cheapest abode would cost to rent for 5 months.
He says, "The cheapest? Well, that's not in a very nice part of Playa Xula. Are you sure you want to go for the cheapest?"
Yeah, pretty much.
And says, well, it'll be a deposit of 200 gold.
That I
And
can
it'll
pay.
be 100 gold per month.
So 200 and then... So that'd be 600 gold?
Yeah, it'd be 200 down payment and then 100 gold a month for however many months you want to pay it off for.
Okay, so... I guess I'll do 5 months, so 200, 300,
Yeah,
400...
it's, 700 gold.
500. Okay, well, this is most of my gold's going away.
Ryan,
so-
Oh,
gold
that's
is
it's not on
expensive.
you, so
700 gold in total.
It's not like I need to buy anything. I'm already pretty set.
So yeah, you hand the gold over to the gold master.
Yep.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I say to him, could I? Is this something I could label as a charity business?
And he says, renting a house? No, I don't think so.
Well, could I rent? What could I rent instead? Like, cause I want to create a charity business, somewhere where we can take donations and give it out to the poor. So, where do you think would be a good place for that? That's reasonably cheap.
And he said, well, there's a couple empty merchant stalls down in the market you could invest in.
Well, the problem with that is that I would like somewhere where people could sleep.
Says, well, things of that nature, we really only handle residences, maybe the occasional warehouse, but there's none that are available at the moment.
Can I take that house and transform it into a business?
And says, well, it'd be a pretty lengthy process filling out, different paperwork for it, and, of course there'll be a nominal fee on top of that. Plus, the rent would probably be increased because it's gone from a private residence to a building. There's
I assume the private residence was already a building.
private residence to a business. I'm sorry.
I guess I'll just keep the private residence then. And how much would it cost to rent a merchant stall for a little while?
What's that? You
How
want
much
to cut
would
out?
it- How much would it be to purchase a merchant stall?
Merchant stall would be 300 down payment, 300 a month.
Well, I don't have enough for that, so I guess I'll just stay with the building for now.
And he says, fine, and takes your gold and then hands you a key and a stack of paperwork, essentially registering you to that residence through official means in Playa Xula.
Okay.
He does ask your name, your country of origin, and has you sign paperwork as well to keep on record.
And I go through with that.
So it's all very official. And hands you a key and a copy of your documents. And says, "Well, she's all yours. You'll find it. It's the northernmost house down in the residentials."
Thank you.
And says, "No problem. Come back if you have any other business."
I will, definitely. Thank you.
And escorts you out and closes the door behind you.
So, how'd it go?
It went well. I assume I gave retroactively that I gave the key to the people and kept the paperwork for myself.
Okay. And showed them.
Yeah, and showed
Did you
them.
take them to the house and get them all settled in and all that?
Yeah. And I tell them, you are going to have to make money on your own. However, you can stay here for as long as the rent is paid.
And they say, well, how are we supposed to make money around here?
Well, for one, you could beg. Two, do any of you have any... Well, for one, person who can read.
And the one kind of raised his hand
You can teach reading, right?
I don't know. I've tried in the past with these two, but it hasn't worked out very well.
Well, see if you can get a job reading. Like, say, a preacher or a,
You're literally making them into preachers.
Actually, yeah, you will become a
The point of
preacher.
the cult.
You will become a preacher. I'll give you 10 gold because of your contribution to the church.
And he says, "Well, the only church in town is that temple to the magic fella. Is that where you want me to go?"
Tony
No
cries
thanks.
a little bit inside.
No,
The
no
magic
thanks.
fella.
Just preach in the streets, somewhere. As long as it's legal. I'm not sure if it's legal. Where would I find out if it's legal?
Do I know if it's legal? Is there a lot of street preaching going on?
I would say you don't know the legality of it, but typically you don't see that too often.
But I do see it sometimes.
Well, I was talking to Tony.
Oh,
Do I see it sometimes?
Not often.
You could try and like sneaky preach, like take some people into like back rooms and be like, "Hey, have you heard about?"
You know, like since you've been born, you can only recall like 2 times that there was like a guy on the corner talking about some new religion.
Well, you go find people and read them this book and try and get them to join in with however much money they have.
I'm not street preaching. I'm just finding people and reading this book and trying to get them to join in with as much money.
Exactly. You
It's
there.
completely different.
What are your skills? I point to the middleman.
He says, "Skills, I don't really have any. That's why I haven't been able to work."
That's nonsense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough. You're shit.
I love how Adrada's just essentially wasting more and more money trying to start a cult and failing each and every time.
Hey,
He's
that
got
one
4
dude,
people
Don
in-
Provolone, recruited 4 people, okay?
Wow.
Like, fair play, Don. I didn't think he'd do it. He can't even read, and he's selling people books.
You, my good friend, take this, and I give him 10 parchment.
And he says, "Okay, what is this for?"
An ink pen, ink, a small knife, a book of lore, a dagger.
Hadrada stares at him.
You don't know?
Sticks of incense, holy symbols, and the
Well,
ring
he's dead.
and the control
Great.
and the continual
Corn,
flame
you're
spell.
on mute.
Drada, you
Yeah?
alive?
Yes.
Corn is
He had a
mute.
heart
Hadrada has had a
attack.
heart attack.
Are you,
Like, after
wait,
just
can you
about
guys
praying.
hear? Wait, did my computer mute itself again?
Yes.
God damn it. I don't know why that
Your brain
happens. I think
muted
my
itself.
insert key is broken. Continuing. I give him the continual flame spell, a dagger, a small knife, a 10 parchment papers, ink, pen, and a few other things. Like, they're not very expensive things. They're like sticks of incense and holy symbols and stuff. But there's stuff that could be sold. Stuff that I don't need. And I give them to him. I even give him the. Why did I write Control Water Scroll? Or Skrill? I also give him
Skrill.
the Greater Healing Potion and tell him to go sell that
Okay.
for money.
He says, right now.
Whenever you have the chance.
He says, "Okay."
Wait, how much is the gem crystal I have worth?
The gem crystal.
Yeah, I have a gem crystal.
doesn't say what kind of gem crystal.
No, it does. It just says gem crystal. I think that's what you told me as well when I got it.
Okay, so it's probably like a sapphire. Because I remember I gave out some sapphires to everyone like a while back when you were in Wintervale.
Yeah, it's probably that. I guess I'll give him the gem crystal as well, because he could sell that and make some money. Gemstone, yeah.
Gem crystal.
Gem crystal.
Crystal gems.
Okay, cool. And he looks at it, and he's just in awe that he's like, I've never seen one of these before. It's beautiful.
Go and sell those for as much as you can.
And he kind of quickly looks up at you and says, sell it? But it's so beautiful, though.
Yes, and other people will find it beautiful as well.
And he says, okay. As you command.
If you want to keep
present
it...
for this conversation?
What?
What's that?
If you
Can I
want
ask
to
are
be...
we present for this
If any of you want to be present for this, you can.
Oh, you're not like in any way opposed to us knowing about cult dealings.
No.
Cool. I'll give Hadrada like a vague tap on the shoulder and say, you know, if you want your weird like fan club thing to have more money, you could just recruit people with money.
Well, yeah, but it's harder to recruit people who aren't on the
Yeah.
docks.
But now you have 3 people. They could go and recruit someone with a little bit of money. And when you got someone with a little bit of money, they could go recruit someone with a little bit more money.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I tell the
And
third...
then your fan club will have.
Him.
It's just trying to
No idea how to run a business. How to run a money-making cult.
So I give 5 prayer books to the person who can read.
I'm not religiously discriminative, and if he wants to give out these books that I
No, not
haven't read,
against the cold.
Hadrada's
if he
like,
wants to
about
give out these prayer books that I
everything.
haven't read and don't know the contents of, then fine, power
I mean,
to him.
technically, every religion started out as a cult.
Yeah.
Hadrada's like,
There, but
Hadrada's like the Joel Osteen of Aothar.
And I give 2 prayer books to the person who can't read and tell them to go recruit people with as much money as they can.
Okay.
If
He
someone
says, well, I can't promise anything, but we'll certainly try.
even if they're still poor, any money is better than no money.
And they say, okay, yeah, we'll talk to some of the other lads about it then.
Mm-hmm. And I leave them there.
Wrangle up a couple more from them.
And
Okay,
that's 3
and then-
people, so this cult should grow exponentially more than the other.
True. Well, you never know. Okay,
These people
so
could be dense.
Yeah, these people could be more dense.
you said that you leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just
so
start
yeah.
throwing a party.
Hadrada.
So yeah, where is everyone?
I remember when I was just a little preacher, trying to spread the word of Mikov out there in the world. You're really growing up into this, Hadrada.
Thank you.
I give you a little
And-
punch on the shoulder and like a jestful way.
And I guess we head back to the temple.
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Talia's just like, yeah, well, no, she went
Still playing with the dog.
Still playing with the dog.
Tyler's
yeah.
definitely still rolling around with that dog. I will accept
What is
nothing
love
other than
him
that
so
in
much?
canon.
But okay, cool. So yeah, everyone reconvenes at the Temple of Bakab.
I actually
And,
ask one of the temple people.
The temple people.
Yes, the people in the temple people.
The people made of temples.
Yeah.
I'm a temple and I am a person. Temple man.
Temple man. Well, technically they do have temples.
The man with the power of temples.
Everyone has temples.
It's very true.
That's true.
Well, if you
It's a
just never temple.
So,
But yeah, so anyway, you ask one of the high priests.
yeah, I ask one of them, how opposed are you to other religions?
And the one you ask, we'll say it is Kozar, says, well, as long as they're not violent or unruly, we don't
I
have
just
any
give a
problem.
small chuckle.
And he kind of looks at you like strangely as you do that.
Oh,
Says-
he's just weird like that. I think it's an inside dwarf joke. I don't know. He does that a lot.
I ask him, how opposed would you be to preachers in the streets?
He says, well, as long as they're not trying to influence any of our own, I mean, I don't see a problem with people following whoever they wish.
Mm-hmm. What if this person...
And he kind of raises his eyebrow as you say this.
What if this god was sort of... You know...
No, he doesn't know, obviously.
What if this god was...
And Kozar kind of looks you still and says, out with it.
Gay?
Okay. What if this god was gay? No, okay. What if this god was fighting for freedom?
It's a good way of wording.
They say, well, that seems admirable, I suppose.
The freedom of the people.
And says, yes, it's a noble cause. Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying, asking how opposed would you be to a god fighting for freedom?
Well, it's not like we're the rulers in Vudar. I mean, that's the Sultan's job, whatever
Oh
he...
no, he's not trying to subvert the Sultan or anything.
Yeah, but we have no control over other religions in this city. That's all according to the royal law, not us.
Ah yes, that's fair.
Try not to dig a hole too deep here.
Yeah, I'm trying not to, but I'm also trying to figure out as much
You're
as
not
they
trying
know.
that hard.
I'm trying to figure out how much they know about corn without leading to them to believe that I follow corn.
Should I give you one super tip?
Yes.
Trying to figure out if they know about corn is a surefire way for them to find out you follow corn.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially after all of that.
Okay, so my other question is, how ancient are the ancient gods?
They say older than recorded history, and even probably older than that.
How old is the Cobb specifically?
Bakad, he was one of the first.
Mm-hmm. And how
Magic-
powerful was he?
Magic couldn't have existed within the universe without Bakad being there, so...
Yeah.
What a man, eh?
Yeah, what a man.
Is he a man?
What if
Yeah, he's an old man.
Bakab and another god were to get into a fight? What would
Well,
happen?
Well, of course we would have to help Bakab any way that we could, and hopefully Bakab would defend himself as much as he could and destroy his adversary.
Have you ever heard of Ragnarok?
Oh Christ, here we go.
And they kind of look at each other and look at you and say, no.
Well, it's a thing that I heard about in a parallel universe. A possible parallel universe. I'm not entirely sure if it really exists.
He's a very creative mind, Andrada.
It's where
Yeah,
the
you know,
gods...
writers. He's an author of like fantasy books, and no.
Yeah. It's where the gods fight. The gods of a certain pantheon fight a god from the same pantheon, but with the help of... Basically, it's gods versus demons, almost.
It sounds dire.
And no one wins, everything is destroyed.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ.
This sounds like a horror story I used to be told as a child.
You
They
sure
s-
Hadrada wasn't the one writing the horror story?
He is he is quite a creative mind.
Did you check who wrote it?
And they say, so, as followers of Bakab, we don't necessarily care about extreme good or evil. In fact, we look to uphold a certain balance. If something was to destroy everything as we know it, that would certainly upset the balance, and we would have to intervene.
What if... Okay, I have a question. What do you know of the gods of chaos?
Deeper and deeper.
I know some, yes.
Put down the
It's
shovel.
a very strange subject that you're bringing up, I must
I
say.
definitely did not just drop my microphone.
He's digging the
What's
hole
the
deeper and
mic?
deeper.
I put
think
it in
that's
say he's
amazing.
writing a book. He's been giving it out whenever we go past places.
No, I haven't. I'm still writing the book.
And they
Yeah,
say,
he's like in the middle of writing it.
let me see this book.
It's not finished yet.
I think he
Still
ran
in the
out.
first few drafts we can't.
Yeah, and I
we
think he
can't-
just
it's
ran
really
out of
like
it.
not. It's
And
really
they say,
not
well,
good.
as scholars, you would have nobody better to pick over your ideas and give you critiques.
Okay. I hand him a prayer book and say it's all work of fiction.
And they look at it and read the title and say, Korn, the Chaos God? This is who you follow?
No.
And they look at Tony and say, You're associated with this fiend worshiper?
Oh, I do not worship a
no,
fiend.
No, he doesn't worship him. Like, as you
Who's
said,
Korn?
it's all work of fiction.
And they
Is
say,
Korn an actual god?
I find that hard to believe given all of the questions you've asked previously.
Yeah, that's fair, but also... No.
Tony's
mean,
very confused.
Well,
Okay,
it's
okay.
questions related to the book.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really that much into religion.
Yeah, I'm not really much into religion. I actually follow a god called... what was
Try to
that?
roll a deception check.
Oh god,
Can-
that's even
is-
worse than my
An
persuasion.
advantage because we're like helping him?
19,
Oh, thank God.
even without advantage.
Because you're helping him. Tony's blissfully unaware of everything that's happening.
Okay, so yeah, Kozar kind of calms down a little bit and says, I hope for your sake this is for educational purposes only.
Oh
You
yes,
don't want to
of
get
course.
you don't want to get
We
wrapped up.
follow-
You don't want to get wrapped up in the dealings of that abomination, Korn.
I had the cop
Can you-
resurrect him,
Can you
so
can you tell me a bit about Korn? Like, what do you know about him?
I'll tell you this much. He's been locked away in a pocket dimension since the beginning of time
I'm aware
Why?
of that.
because he tried to topple the Pantheon. He tried to essentially put the entire multiverse and world under his rule by any
Well-
means possible.
Were the
Yeah.
others mean to him?
No. He was the one who began trying to take all of them out and become
Okay.
like the one supreme god.
Ah, okay,
so
fuck
you what,
that guy
Adrado? This
then.
sounds like some good inspiration for some decent horror.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
holy shit.
And he says that liar Korn will tell anybody anything just so that they'll help him.
Yeah.
Talia slowly turns her head to Adrado.
Just like with this like psychopathic grin, like I am going to kill you.
like no, like just with the with the like Korn. What the fuck? No, the
Because-
Korn. Adrado, what the fuck are you
Who would
doing?
even who would even fall for these lies? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I had Bacab resurrect him, so it's not like he could be evil. I mean, Bacab wouldn't resurrect him if he was, right? You can see all magic and shit.
Yeah,
And
that's
and Kozar says if Korn was to be released somehow by some means, it would throw the universe into chaos, into darkness.
Yeah. Scary stuff. I remember
Sounds
being
like
told about it
Saturday
as a kid.
evenings.
Yeah, it does sound like Saturday evenings. Saturday night, Saturday
Okay.
night, Saturdays.
And they say, well, at the very least, with what we're dealing with here, you know, this whole thing only seems to be centered around Bacab. We can sacrifice ourselves for the greater good if need be, but if Korn is released, everybody loses.
Yeah, that'd suck.
I just like
Oh,
look
wait a
around
sec.
like,
Out
oh
of,
god.
wait, out of curiosity, I mean, it could be helpful for the book. If Korn was released, would he also like harm the people that released him? Cause that'd be a dick move.
And they say,
Oh yeah,
you,
Korn's like a big dick.
they say you don't get it. He's the people that assist him are beyond him. They're nothing to him. Specks of dust floating in the cosmos.
Yeah. But then Big Bukov and all his friends went and put him in a spooky alternate dimension. It was pretty cool. It's one of my favorite stories, guys.
What if, like,
Hadrada,
the
what
Pantheon
the fuck?
and Korn got into a fight again? That would definitely help me with my book.
It's-
Hmm?
And they say, well, it's hard to say. Either reality as we know it could be wiped out in the ensuing battle, or Korn could be victorious, and the universe would still be plunged into an era of darkness. If the Pantheon wins, I'm sure some of them will be killed, so it will leave empty spaces within our protectors.
Oh, well, that just sounds like
That
Saturday
sucks.
night.
God, I'm glad you're writing a book and not a Bible, eh?
Yeah, I know, right?
What's a
He's
Bible?
got
He's
like-
setting up a little book club wherever he goes. It's really nice.
And
Donating to the homeless.
and his look kind of narrows at Hadrada, and he kind of like whispers something to himself and turns around and walks away.
Anyway,
Had-
so about this road
had-
trip.
Hadrada, you couldn't have made it any more obvious. Be more careful with your questions.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Ask
yeah, I'm
multiple
really-
Yes,
people.
on that matter. Hadrada, what the fuck?
If you need to ask these questions like in big detail, fucking ask multiple different people, okay?
Tony, what do
He's-
you know of Korn?
Oh, he's terrifying. I used to be like told nightmarish stories as a child about him to like, you know, not do bad things. Like, oh, don't stay up past 8 or Korn will get you, kind of thing.
So he's sort of like a
But
Krampus
like
type
seriously,
dude.
he's the terrifying force. Like,
Yes, Korn,
Yeah.
the punisher of people that have children that stay up after 8.
he's lied.
You just see like
cheated,
a
he's-
symbol of Korn like on my shoulder, and I'm like, where did that come from? No, I'm just kidding.
Korn is the harvester of souls.
Yeah, he's like. I couldn't imagine anything worse. Like,
So,
imagine
like
the
lawyers.
worst thing you could, but like worse. Like worse than lawyers. Like even worse. Yeah, like imagine like the god of lawyers, but like worse than that.
Worse than Tomlin?
Just.
Okay.
He says in jest. His Korn is
Just.
genuinely terrifying. Like, if ever I can't sleep still, it's probably because Korn. Like, he still scares me like I'm a child, and I'm not a child, I'm Tony.
I mean, I'm
Tony,
pretty sure you were already Tony when you were
When
a
we
child.
were a
Hey
child,
Tony,
yeah.
do you wanna have a scare then?
What?
Do you wanna have a scare?
No, that's why I haven't read your book yet, it seems terrifying. I'm not a fan of horror fiction.
I mean, are we supposed? I mean, Talia?
You know, at this point, I can't even stop him anymore. This is the point beyond no return, okay? Korn
Yeah.
is so, Hadrada is so deep apparently so deep in Korn's lies and slander that he's not gonna believe, like, that we're not gonna be able to talk him out of starting his stupid cult and freeing that motherfucker.
And Korn. And Karn.
Karen.
Karn.
Cornflakes.
Aaron,
Korn, Soul, Cairn.
There's like
Sounds
a... I don't know how to spell his name, 1 second.
Corn?
No,
Side note, out of character, you're gonna have to do a lot better cloak and dagger shit for me to keep up this blissfully unaware act.
I mean, we literally just spit it out. Like, Talia literally just.
his name is Karn the Betrayer.
Uh-huh.
Try to display good at the party.
He is one of, that doesn't exist in this world. Okay, but,
Yeah.
Karn the Betrayer is, Karn the Betrayer is one of Khorne's champions in Warhammer 40k.
Okay.
He is a Space Marine of the of the World Eaters Legion. He is the greatest champion of Khorne, second only to the Demon Prince and Guron.
Oh, good, a fiend.
He is the avatar of Khorne, embodying that god's indiscriminate rage and bloodlust. So in this game, am I sort of like Karn?
You're on your way to it, yeah. I mean,
You're sort of like
Karn in training.
Karn in training.
You're like Karn incarnate.
You're like Karn the intern.
Karn the
That was a
intern.
good one.
You're still like learning the ropes and stuff.
So does he have another champion?
At this point in time, no.
Okay.
The cop does.
Well, yeah, Vakab does, but Khorne doesn't.
I say to the rest of the party. Yeah, I'm totally writing a fictional book.
Yeah.
Can I inside him?
Yeah, Hadrada,
Me
roll
too.
a deception check and roll a contested insight against his deception.
Ah, shit.
And once again, Talia sees right through your bullshit.
I mean, it's with the amount of questions he asked, these specific questions.
I like this
Yeah.
good.
I highly doubt that anyone isn't aware of the fact that he's worshipping Hadrada.
Yes.
And not
But
Hadrada,
if
Khorne.
Tony
Hadrada's
knows,
worshipping Khorne.
Tony kills Hadrada, and that'd be a really sucky way to end the session.
True.
Actually, I wouldn't mind if Tony killed Hardrada, because then I could resurrect myself, and then I could actually be the BBEG.
No.
We're playing a 3v1 campaign.
But yeah, so back to business at hand, though. What's everyone doing?
I mean,
Hardrada's
I'm
just
ready to
standing
set up.
there tapping his fingers together with like a psychopathic grin on his face.
I'd say we're going
everyone-
south.
Ready to head
Yeah.
south?
Let's head south. And I turn to Spas and like, do you want to go south? Let's go south. Huh? Let's go.
And he kind of like does that like excited dog like shuffle and like gets low to the ground and like stands back up and goes to like put his front paws on you and like stand up, but he's just like way taller than you are anyway. So
I got my trident enchanted, right?
She
Yes,
Yes.
she
we
like
did.
Yeah.
takes his paws and like yes. She just loves him so much.
So yeah, Sylvan and the other three high priests return with small bundled like backpacks on, and they say we'll go and procure a couple of carts and horses, and we'll start making our way south.
Oh, no need. Deathbringer!
Deathbringer.
My stallion comes galloping.
I think you forgot a third in there.
The third.
No, I
He
love
doesn't
how
come until I say the third.
No, I just love how it's just
Guys-
you're in front of these priests of Bakam, and you're just like Deathbringer.
I turned to the
It's a joke
priest.
name.
I turned to the priest to say it was a joke. We were going to name it something else. I just threw the name Deathbringer the Third in because we didn't have a different name, and then we settled on that name. This wasn't my intention. I'm sorry.
If I mount up.
And
And
they
say
say
he has
we-
killed someone though.
They
How's
say,
that?
well, this is all very impressive, but is there room for everybody on your horse, or
No, you still need horses. I'm saying you don't need to acquire horses for everyone.
oh, so you just wanted to show off your fancy
No,
stallion?
I just
then.
wanted to save you money by not hiring me a horse you don't need. And kinda show off my stuff.
And they say, okay then, and tell all of you to follow them, and they go to the stable master at the other side of town towards the front gate, and they procure a single cart with 2 horses attached to it, and everybody mounts up in the back of the cart, and there's 2 people, at the helm.
How do you spell Bacab?
B-O-C-C. No, B-C-O-O. No, wait, yeah. B-C-O-O. CB. Right?
No.
I know how to write it. I can't spell it out.
No,
No, there we go. BOCCOB. Yeah. Like I knew how it was like spelled, but I couldn't like say it.
Bekogbu.
Gogb.
And they begin to take some supplies and load into the back of the cart as well, and
Nice.
head out through the city gate, and you begin your travel down south. At this moment, you are still in the desert at the foot of a large mountain range as you're traveling down the road, and essentially the next leg of the journey will be you going through that mountain range and then into the lower rainforested valley on the other side. But we will pick that up next week.
Hey,
Sweet.
I can't wait.